Hey guys, Brian here, and welcome back to my shop. I've returned back to Kentucky after my vacation down south to the Richard King scraping class and to tour Keith Rucker's shop. And got back here and I'm back on the boring mill project, working on these anchors. So what I've got behind me set up is the Eagle Rock radius turning tool for making the concave shape in these plates, which matches the convex on the anchor. I'll show you that here in a minute. But first, let me get you over here closer where you can see what we've got set up, and we'll take a look at getting this job done. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. We got set up here is the plate the mill sits on, and I've got a little cheapo Char's round inserted carbide that I ground clearance on in order to use for this, because it would hit before it started cutting the way it was. It's made for outside turning and not for boring work, but that's what I'm using it for. I like the round radius because as this thing sweeps, it stays on the correct cutter geometry all the way around. So the round insert works pretty good for this, I think. I had a high-speed steel I ground up, but you can only cut one way with it, whereas you can cut both ways with this. It doesn't really seem to affect it too much. So let me fire the lathe up, and I'll show you turn one of these. Can't take huge cuts with this. So I know how you little lathe guys feel now. About 20 thou is about all you can take on this. But let's get to it. Well, that's it. Not the most amazing finish in the world, but I'm not really concerned about that. The pieces, the anchor parts are all chewed up worse than this is, so they'll make good to each other. So let me do a couple more of these and I'll bring you back and we'll take a look at how they mate. space compared to when I did this on the mill, so. Well, I'm pretty sure that's a lot faster than the rotary table. Still not amazing finish, but I'll live with that. Okay, let's take a look at this anchor system, because several people have said that they didn't quite understand exactly what I was doing or how this worked. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail here, and hopefully this will enlighten you a little bit. But essentially all of this goes down in the concrete, and because it's got this big box on the bottom, it makes it really hard for it to try and lift out. So you can really anchor the machine down tight. You can actually even use the bolts to pull it into alignment if you have to. You'd be surprised how many thousands you can crank into one of those big machines if you need to. But hopefully we won't have to do that. But anyway, this is the required foundation distance here for all the anchors, and want it down in the slab as far. So this box keeps it from being pulled back out. There'll be a square steel plate in the bottom that's threaded and tapped for a 7/8 stud, because I need to be able to have this flush to the floor, because I got to set the boring mill in and then slide it back underneath the crane. I can't just sit it straight down on the studs, because I don't have enough room for that. I don't have it out in the floor. I've got to sit back some in order to have enough space in my shop and not waste 15 feet. So these are the plates that I turned. It's got the centering hole. These will sit down on top of this and on the concrete, because this will all be surrounded by concrete. And the trick to this is this sphere inside, and the mating radius on here makes a ball and socket. So if the floor is unlevel, which that's pretty extreme, but say it was that far out, you still got full bearing on this. You can see it doesn't rock around on here really, regardless of where you put it. You know, you get way out of line. You couldn't fit the stud through that, but nevertheless, the idea behind this is that your bolt is fully supported. You don't have something like this where it's sitting up on one side, not even touching over here. Then it wants to put a cock in the machine and twist it. This way it's fully supported. It makes up for any misalignments on the floor, which there always will be. I'm not that good at concrete, man. I can't get within a couple thousandths over, 25-foot area. So this makes up for that. Hopefully that explains how this all works to you. I said it'll be studs that come all the way down through here, and this is your adjustment up and down to level the machine. So the next step will be I got to make the square plates and the thread stock for all these, and I'll be ready to put them into the forms for the concrete, and be getting ready to pour that here pretty soon. Hopefully in the next week or two I'll have that knocked out. It's a big change coming back here. The temperature dropped 40 degrees from down there at Keith's, so definitely know that it's fall time and getting pushed on weather. We've had several days here colder by quite a bit than what we normally have this time of year. Typically we're in the low 60s for highs, and we've been running in the 40s and 50s quite a bit. So hopefully we'll get a break here in the weather and I can get this done. So I think that the rock tool, while not necessarily the most fantastic radius tool available out there, it certainly works for getting this job done and is way faster than using the mill to do it with. So I'm glad that I invested in it, and I think I'll be able to use it more in the future for projects whenever something like that comes up. So if you're interested in something like that, be sure to check them out. No sponsorship or nothing. I had to pay full price for it just like anybody else. I don't have any sponsorship on my channel. I just buy stuff, and whatever it is, whatever it is. So I say it could use a little tweaking. I might do that sometime. I could see where if it had 2 screws on the top of the bar would help it a whole lot. Where the tool locks down in it, it's kind of teeter-tottery the way it is. But you know, it's not that engineered and not that precise a piece, but it works for getting the job done. Just don't expect the most amazing finish you've ever seen. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll catch y'all later.